What is up, you guys? And welcome back to today's episode. Hopefully you're ready. Hopefully you've had your morning coffee. I'm very excited. So, the last video we talked about shutter speed, we've talked about aperture. Now we're going to go in depth on ISO. Well, you've heard me say it before. ISO is how sensitive your sensor is to light. ISO stands for International Organization for Standardization. It is a worldwide feature on national standard bodies. ISO is a non-governmental organization that comprises standard bodies from more than 160 countries with one standard body representing each membered country. And that's what ISO stands for photography. So, in today's video, we're going to be talking about ISO settings and how to get them just right for landscape photography. It is one of the key feature settings in photography, and while it might sound a little technical at first, I'll keep it simple as possible. So let's dive into it, my friends. So, again, what is ISO? It is a simple term. ISO controls how sensitive your camera is to light. The lower the ISO number is, the less sensitive it is, which is perfect for bright conditions. The higher the ISO number, the more sensitive your camera becomes, which helps in low light situations. But here's the thing. Higher ISOs can also introduce noise, which will make your images look grainy. And now for landscape, the goal is to keep your images sharp and clean as possible. And that means sticking to a low ISO. The lower you can go, the better. Most people go to 200, 100, depending on your camera. The one I have, I can go down to ISO 50. Some cameras can go to ISO 25. Right? This is especially important in bright daylight, or whether you're shooting during the golden hour. A low ISO is going to give you the best qualities with minimal noise. Now, what happens when you're shooting in a low light? Well, during these scenes, for example, a sunrise or a sunset, you might need to bump your ISO up a little bit to like 400 or 800. Because let's say you have some trees and there's a little breeze, right? You need that fast shutter speed. So increasing that ISO will especially handle that scene a lot better because you can take a faster photo. Now, let's say ISO 400 or ISO 800, especially if you're shooting handheld, but there's a little trick. Only increase your ISO as a last resort. Instead, try lowering either your shutter speed or opening your aperture, depending on what you're at. Let's say you're at f16, try going to f11. Okay? That's an option. It's a balancing act. And if you're using a tripod, which I highly recommend for landscape, you can keep your ISO low even in low lights. A tripod keeps your camera steady, allowing you to slow down your shutter speed without introducing motion blur. This way you maintain sharpness without having to raise your ISO and risk grainy images. And this is where a 10-second delay or a 2-second delay or a shutter release mode or even using your phone to take the photo helps, because once you get hands off, you're good to go. Now, one of the things I did not mention about tripods, try to stay away from aluminum. The reason why, at first it's a good investment, they're okay, you're going to get micro shakes. And I'll talk more about this when we go into advanced tripods and stuff like that. But you might receive micro shakes if you're using aluminum tripods, because when the camera takes the photo, especially if it's a lot of photos, little vibrations are going to move through the leg and you might be off 1 or 2 pixels. So just be wary of that when you're lining it up in Photoshop. So the general rule of thumb for landscape, keep your ISO as low as possible for clean, crisp photos. Stick with an ISO of 100 to 200. In daylight, if you're shooting in low light, we'll only increase it when it's absolutely necessary. It's not often I'm raising my ISO. Occasionally I go up to 800. Occasionally, very, very rarely, only because like I need a fast shutter speed, I'll go up to like 1,000, but it's very rare. Okay, and so you don't want to push it too far, which is the biggest thing. Okay, you don't want to push your ISO too far because you don't want to introduce grain unless you're going for the artistic style and that's what you're wanting, okay? These are all ideas. These aren't hard, oh, I have to do this, or the photography police are going to come arrest me. That's not what that is, okay? These are general rules, okay? And the two big things you need to remember is, one, understand the rules at first. Two, once you understand said rules, break the rules and go out and have fun and show me what you can create, okay? Please, if you want me to critique one of your photos or you want to show me one of your photos because you're trying something, please let me know. Tag me in it at Stevo's Photography. And that's pretty much it for today's. A quick guide on ISO settings for landscape. I hope this video was very helpful for you and it nails those sharp, noise-free shots. Thanks for watching, and if you found these tips to be helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe for more tips. And I'll see you in my next video, my friends. Have a good day.